Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, there we go. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. And I am Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, get that going there. Well, this time I'm going to have another look at, said that wrong. I'm going to have a look at another baker's dozen of some of my underground and alternative comics from my collection. I just got a handful at random. That's the way to do it, right? That way you get a wide variety of stuff. Good, okay. Now here, we'll start off with this one. This is the collected adventures of the fabulous furry freak brothers by Gilbert Shelton. This is issue number 1, right? I think that's what I saw. Yeah, and of course this is not the Freak Brothers premiere or anything like that. This is from 1980, but this is reprinting a lot of the stuff from that had been published in other places previously. So this is issue number 1 from 1980. Oh, I love the Freak Brothers, even though it's all about dope, and I don't do dope, but it's just a lot of fun. And here we got the 3 boys here sucking on that bong while they were being chased by the cops. And then, because here it shows them before dope and after dope. I get a kick out of those guys. And I also like Gilbert Shelton's Wonder Warthog. That's a lot of fun too. And who is this? Didn't say there. Then we go. This is 1978. J. Michael Leonard's Fresh Blood, and this is I'm not as I think this is the only thing I've got from him. And it says the Fresh Blood funny book. There, it's funny, and it's of course has that old style type of cartooning from the funny books and the old comic strips from the 20s and 30s. But it's not all like that. So it's all by the same creator, but its style changes with the demands of the story. And I know I do that. This is Bum Street Bumboat. And we got something else here. Where was that one? We got another style here. And this is actually some relatively realistic, but it's funny animals, but it's not a funny story. Not necessarily a funny story. It still has humor in it and everything, but then we go to another one that I'm less familiar with. Dip Stories number 1. And this is from 1982. And it has I think it's all written by Scott McGregor. I'm familiar with, but it's all primarily drawn by Gary Budget and Gary Dumb, who I've talked about before here, because they did a lot of stuff on Harvey Picar's American Splendor. Send out the clowns. You see some stuff on the background. And here we go back. This is a real classic. Scarlet Pilgrim. And this is a one-shot from 1977. It's all written and drawn by Trina Robbins. Now, Trina Robbins, I've talked about her before, but she is a mainstay. She is one of the women pioneers in cartooning, both mainstream and underground. She started in the underground, but you know, she was working, from what I understand, she was working at Warren magazines, Warren Publishing, and was designed the look of Vampirella. So, and her stuff is, of course, she's done a lot of mainstream and cutesy kid stuff, because that's what her style lends itself to. But she has some beautiful, let's see, here's a nice airbrush painting, and this has got a wraparound cover. And it's like taking place during the World War II or just before in the Middle East, and it's a kind of an adventure story, but it's got, you know, adventure spy type, and it's got but it's got, I'll make sure there's nothing. I better skip that one. That one's, well, got to skip that one too, because there, that one's okay, because it's got nudity and sex and stuff in it as well. But it's just her, I just love Trina Robbins' artwork. I like the, so I would get her almost anything I could find by her. And one of these days I want to cover her graphic novel of the Silver Metal Lover. Some beautiful stuff. And of course she did some teen humor stuff. She did a Wonder Woman miniseries. And I like that too. Here's some more. Another sample. Okay. But then, while keeping with Trina Robbins, I don't think if I do have the first one, it's not here. It's elsewhere in my collection. But this is the return of women's comics. So it's basically women's comics #2. This is from 1983, I think it said. And a nice Trina Robbins cover. And then I can't read the name. Here's the back cover by someone else. And of course she was instrumental. As I said, she got women cartoonists together. See, because Underground Comics was still basically a boys only club, and the girls were there for the pleasure of the guys. And Trina and a lot of the others didn't like that, and they were kept out of a lot of the stuff. So Trina got together with some others. They did some all women stuff. Got women's comics, and she did a bunch of other things. This is work. Make sure it's clean, because a lot of this is not clean. Not good enough. Oh, here is one. The story. Make sure it's decent. Okay. By several women cartoonists. This has a Dory Sita story, and she had done a lot of stories in Weirdo magazine in the 80s. As you can see, this is all done by women, and it's some really nice stuff. Really nice stuff. But then we skip a few years, and we got Women's Comics #3. And it's more of the same. This is a cult issue. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. This is issue 13. This is 1988. So there are a lot more issues of women's comics. And here again, starting right off with some lovely Trina Robbins artwork. I still have so many others. Actually, that's actually pretty. Both of them. Ooh, this is just lovely. Who did this? Barb Rausch. I'm not familiar with her, but that's just some really lovely stuff. And in one of these somewhere, I saw some. What's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name. She did a lot of work for Marvel Comics, and I cannot think of her name. And she had some really nice work too. I can't think of her name. She did some Red Sonja. I don't see it in there, and I can't think of her name. Mary Wilshire. That's it, Mary Wilshire. Then, since I mentioned Dory Sita, here is the only 1986. Well, that's when the artwork was, but the book itself was actually from. Oh yeah, it is 1986. It is from Dory Sita's only solo comic, and she passed away shortly after this. I guess complications from the flu, is what I understand. But this is a fully painted cover, and I just liked her stuff. And she had a lot of stuff with her dog in it, and some are slice of life, and some stories aren't. And she also participated with Weirdo magazine. They did some fumetti photo strips, photo cover comic strips, and she was a model for some of those too. Yeah, and I really like Dory Sita. And then here's her back cover. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What year was this? This one? And this might be a reprint. Yeah, it must be, because it's got others listed here. This is Young Lust #1 with this Bill Griffith cover. Of course, Young Lust was an underground romance comic parody, and that's it's various creators. It had some nice stuff and some not so nice. And I showed Young Lust before. I can't show that. I can't show that one. Well, this is as close as we go. Love Nest for 3, and then has on the back fake ads for other fake titles. Okay, and here I got a bit of a sore throat. Then here we have Quack #1. This is from 76, was it? Yeah, from 1976. It's underground, but it's funny animals, all funny animals. And this doesn't focus so much on the sex, but it's similar irreverent humor, stuff that mainstream could never publish, and it's mostly by both underground and mainstream cartoonists, like Alan Cooper Bird and Howie Chaykin. This cover is by Frank Bruner, who is best known for his years of work on Doctor Strange, as well as Howard the Duck. And in this story is actually Dexter Duck. It's a lot like Howard the Duck. The whole thing is, even with the girl, the whole thing is like Howard the Duck. But one thing that's funny about this book, and I don't know if it was just a rarity or if they were all printed like this, but the first and second, and then page, and then the last 2 pages, which would all be printed on one sheet of paper, are missing. and that was an accident when it was being produced. So first page shown here is right in the middle of the story, and on the other side, that story doesn't end. It's got Scott Shaw. I'm not sure if this is Scott Shaw. Not that one, but yeah, here we go. Scott Shaw. This is his character, Ewald Gibbons, and he did contributed to several issues of Quack, and then he's got Ewald Gibbons in another one that's not exactly underground. It is from PC Comics. It's very mainstream. But Scott Shaw from Captain Carrot and His Amazing Zoo Crew, and he did a lot of Flintstones and a lot of animation stuff. Yeah, and it's funny animals, but it's not. But it's not mainstream at all. And I also have No Ducks someplace, but I don't have a few issues of that. Then here we have from Last Gasp is Passion and Romance and Commies from Mars. But this is a beautiful painted cover by Pound. I can't remember his first name. Pound, and I can't remember his first name. He did a lot of the Pound. This artist here did a lot of the Garbage Pail Kids trading cards way back in the 80s or 70s, 80s, whenever it was. And this is from 82. And then it has what's his name? Yeah, John Jackson. Has the back cover. You can just look all day in there trying to see everything. Can't show that one. I can show that one. That's great. Just different, unusual things. Weird stuff. And then we go. This is from 1990. I'll look closer here. It's Strips, number 4. And by Chuck Austin, adults only. It's very adults only. This is less underground and more porn. Rip-off press though. But that, I guess that's bona fides for being underground. And most of this, the interior stuff, I can't show you because it's chock full of nudity. But I do have a couple pages here that I can show you right at the end. So that you can at least appreciate the beautiful artwork of Chuck Austin. And of course, he's a mainstream artist as well. And he's done some other lovely adult material for other publishers as well. And here we go. This is a famous one. This is title anyway. Peter Bagge's Hate. This is number 8. I don't remember how long the title ran, and it had Hate, and then the main character spun off into a different title. It's a quasi-autobiographical stuff from Peter Bagge's youth. I say quasi because it's, you know, based on, a lot of it's based on real events, in his life that he knew about, but he just changed the, you know, obviously the characters. Buddy, what's his name? Buddy something, I've forgotten his name. I got another issue someplace, and I want to cover an in-depth with him sometime. And then we're going to finish this Baker's Dozen off with, which issue is this? Eightball, number 9, by Daniel Clowes. And he is a modern master, and he's had a lot of award-winning work. He did all the work in his books, and he'd have several continuing stories in his book. It had some weird stuff inserted, things that otherwise looked very normal, but then just some really off-the-wall weird stuff was thrown in. And if you remember the movie Ghost World, which co-starred a very young, maybe 18-year-old Scarlett Johansson. She co-starred in that, and that was based on a graphic novel by Daniel Clowes, which was first appeared in the pages of these books, of this title. And it's just lovely line work, blacks and whites, and even, of course, occasionally had a little bit of color, especially on the covers. And so he had color on the cover. He took advantage of it with the storytelling. So that's what I've got, all I've got for you this time around, for this bunch of underground comics. I want to please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave a comment. What underground stuff here do you like? Have you read? Or have you not read and would like to? Well, let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.